Tanjiro falls into the Infinity Castle and wonders if it was made using Muzan's blood demon art. He remembers Tomoyo, who was holding off Muzan, worries about how long she can hold on. Determined to defeat Muzan, Tanjiro is caught by Giyu, who throws him to a lower floor. They are attacked by demons, but they quickly defeat them with water-breathing style. Tanjiro is impressed by Giyu's skills and his ability to anticipate his moves. Next we see Obanai, who saves Mitsuri from demons using his serpent-breathing technique. Gyomei and Muichiro also fight demons in the castle and realize that these demons are as strong as lower moons. They suspect that this is a strategy to wear them out before they face Muzan. Muichiro asks about Kagaya, to which Gyomei reveals how Kagaya sacrificed himself as a bait to lure Muzan. They feel sad about their leader, Kagaya Uyashiki's passing. He was always there for them when they needed him the most. Like a caring father to all the demon slayers, Sanemi feels guilty for not being able to protect Kagaya. Demons keep appearing, but Sanemi swiftly defeats them with his great speed. More and more demons come, driving Sanemi to the point of madness. With a grin, he declares that he will kill every last one of them. Inosuke is excited about the battle and wants to test his skills against the demons, whereas Genya worries about the safety of Sanemi and the others. Zenitsu hears something and believes that a certain someone is nearby, calling them unforgivable. Shinobu follows the scent of blood and discovers a room filled with the bodies of women. There she encounters a demon, who is seen feeding those bodies. In a flashback, Shinobu remembers her sister, Kanai, who is seriously injured by a demon. Kanai advises Shinobu to leave the Demon Slayer Corps and live a normal life. Shinobu refuses, desperate for revenge. In the present, Shinobu comes across a upper moon to demon, Doma, who is as described by Kanai when Shinobu asked about him. She recalls the demon's appearance. That is blood stains on his head, carefree smile on face with a calm and gentle speech. Doma greets Shinobu with a smile. Just as her sister had described, one of Doma's victims reaches out for help, but he silences her. Shinobu saves the victim, but Doma already had killed her. Shinobu remembers that Doma wields sharp fans as weapons. Doma reveals himself as the leader of the Eternal Paradise cult, claiming his duty is to bring happiness to his followers. Shinobu is disgusted by his actions, but Doma believes he saves people from pain and fear by consuming them. He sees it as leading them to salvation. Shinobu confronts Doma about her sister's death, and he remembers Kanai as the user of the flower-breathing technique. He tells her he missed out on eating her because the sun was coming up, but he really wanted to. Shinobu gets furious and stabs Doma with her insect-breathing technique in his eyes, but he counters with his blood demon art, Frozen Lotus. Although Shinobu dodged the attack, she inhales some ice powder. Doma mentions that she needs to aim for the neck to kill a demon, and mocks her for stabbing him. Shinobu asserts that if the stab doesn't kill him, the poison will. Doma succumbs to the poison briefly, but quickly recovers and finds it amusing. He asks Shinobu to try another poison on him. Shinobu half expected that her regular poison, which was much lethal than what she used during Mount Nadagumo. However, she agrees to try another poison. Doma, a kind but clever child with rainbow-colored eyes and white hair, was considered special and connected to God. His parents, whom he thought were horrifyingly stupid, formed a cult called the Eternal Paradise Cult, with Doma as its leader. People sought his advice and guidance, hoping for redemption from their problems. However, Doma felt uncomfortable being a child whom adults relied on, so that he could lead them to paradise. He didn't believe in paradise, gods, or Buddha, feeling confused as to why people couldn't accept the inevitability of death. He thinks maybe it's difficult for them to be dumb. In a battle with Shinobu, Doma discovers his immunity to poison and heals himself from her attack, and states how her attack is getting less and less effective. He also reminds that her lungs have been damaged due to his blood demon technique, which had sucked her blood during his previous attack and froze them. He turned those frozen blood into mist and scattered them in the air with his fans. Shinobu decides to strike multiple times to poison him again. Using her insect-breathing technique, Doma acknowledges her impressive speed, but manages to hit her. He tells her that she could have won the battle, If she would have gone for his head, but then he taunts her that even beheading him was impossible to her, as she is tiny. As Shinobu bleeds from her wounds, she regrets her physical limitations, wishing she had grown taller and stronger. She remembers Kanai, who was taller but was way too delicate. Shinobu thinks that Kanai, during her final moments, was trying to say to her that she might lose to that demon, which breaks Shinobu's morale. Suddenly, Kanai's spirit appears before Shinobu, urging her to stand and fight, despite her injuries and inability to breathe properly. Shinobu musters her resolve to kill Doma. Honoring her promise to Kanai and her younger sister, Kanao, Doma approaches the injured Shinobu, observing her struggle. Shinobu, with Kanai encouraging her, she finds the strength to stand up again, surprising Doma. Coughing blood, Shinobu faces Doma, who mocks her suffering. Determined to end her pain, Doma tells her to give up, claiming she is already beyond saving. However, Shinobu refuses to surrender. With a swift technique, she lunges at Doma, moving so quickly that the force of her feet destroys the bridge beneath her. Doma attempts to strike her, but fails, only hitting her cape. In a final act of desperation, Shinobu leaps into the air and thrusts her sword into Doma's neck, impaling him and forcing his body into the ceiling. Shinobu had a happy childhood, believing that life was filled with endless happiness. However, her belief was shattered when a demon entered her home and brutally killed her parents, leaving her and her sister Kanai orphaned. Luckily, they were saved by Gyome Himejima, who defeated the killer. This tragic event made those sisters realize that their own happiness was gone forever, but they were determined to prevent others from suffering the same fate. Both Shinobu and Kanai promised each other that they would become demon slayers to protect people, despite their own limited strength. They believed that stopping even one demon could save many lives, and defeating a powerful upper-ranked demon could save hundreds. In a moment of reflection, Shinobu remembers when Tanjiro asked her if she was angry. She admits that she has been angry for a long time. Thinking about the deaths of her parents, her sister, and all her successors, she recalls the tragic fate of these girls, whose families were also killed by demons. Most of all, she is frustrated by the fact that her poisonous attacks were ineffective against Doma. As she was falling, Doma catches her using his ice powers and embraces her. He congratulates Shinobu on making it this far, but also mocks her for being weaker and less talented than her sister, which infuriates her. Doma admits that it was foolish of her to try to kill him against all odds, but he sees it as a trait that makes humans so short-lived. As Doma decides that she is finally worthy of being eaten, he asks for her final words. Shinobu defiantly replies, "Rot in hell." Meanwhile, Kanao opens the door to the cult room and finds Doma holding Shinobu on the roof. She watches in horror as Doma absorbs Shinobu's body, killing her and causing her sword to drop. In desperation, Kanao jumps up to attack Doma using her breathing technique called flower breathing. Unfortunately, she misses as Doma escapes and lands on the floor. The demon warns her not to attack him while he is absorbing someone, but this only adds up Kanao's rage. Doma fails to taunt her, and reveals that Shinobu gave some signal to Kanao before dying, and asks if it was about his abilities. While he licks Shinobu's hairpin, he believes it was his good night as he gets to have one meal after another. On a different note, Zenitsu approaches a room and calls for someone inside to come out. The person inside corrects Zenitsu, saying that it isn't a correct way to address him, as he is the older disciple in there. Eventually, a demon named Kagaku walks out and tells Zenitsu that he have improved a bit, but he's still weak and unreliable, just like he always was. Zenitsu fires back, saying that since Kagaku has become a demon, he is no longer his senior. That's all for this video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. So until then, bye.